nice feel, it's a nice welcoming feel.
What is great about Cressingham Gardens is
friendly neighbours.
Everyone helps everyone out.
A real sense of community.
It's quite quiet as well. That's a good thing for my grandma.
it's a pretty safe place to live.
It's low crime,
I've never felt threatened here.
well lit alleyways.
It's very green.
Because the buildings are fairly low rise, there's lots of natural light.
There's actually brick walls between the homes. You don't even hear your neighbours.
We've got Rockwell Park on our doorstep.
Rooms are really interesting shapes.
Not only is it beautiful inside, but it's also beautiful outside.
Plus it came with a really lovely garden.
It's like as if it's one tightly knit community, as in a small village, but everyone gets on in this village.
And we love it. Really happy here.
The architect, Ted Hollenby, whose vision this estate was, he was passionate about bringing a quality of living to people living in social housing.
His architecture is incredibly human-centred and gentle. I think they're great. You know, they're not great big statement architects. It's absolutely the opposite of the gherkin. It's good, sensible housing in the way that housing should be built.
The housing committee that was involved in approving this had John Major, future Prime Minister, as its deputy chair, and then subsequently it was Ken Livingstone. Back in the 1960s, this was now known as a period when they did the massive slum clearances, and they were trying to build new social housing, new homes for the people. And the idea with this estate, there's housing for every part of your life.
It has an absolutely beautiful location right on the edge of Brockwell Park, and it's been designed so that it doesn't dominate the park. You don't feel that you've got a huge housing estate right on the edge of the park when you're in the park. And from all around within the estate, you get very beautiful views through the buildings and into the park. So you feel that there's a huge amount of space around you.
It has got this very village-like atmosphere because of the way it's built, with the doors looking onto other people's doors, but in quite small blocks, so it doesn't feel too much either. And the fact that it's full of light and it's very generous proportions with lots of space for everybody, feels like this helps to keep down the temperature in terms of we don't have much crime here. And I think that's because people have quite a lot of personal space here.
Flats and houses are all decent sizes and have lovely wide windows and a light and well planned, and yet the whole fits together. It's a very kind of complicated jigsaw. It all comes together very well as well.
I was very shocked when I found out that there was very real plans to demolish the whole estate as it was then. People seemed so happy up here. It seemed like a kind of jewel in Lambeth's crown of estates, so it seemed crazy to me that you would want to demolish something that's obviously working very successfully at some levels, but true, at another level there are a lot of repairs that need doing up here, and there are a lot of properties where people are living in quite poor conditions.
It's much easier to do repairs, and it's cheaper to do repairs.
We've got our famous 6 void flats. They've been vacant for over 16 years, according to residents. Even by council estimates, they say that it should only cost £260,000 to fix and refurbish, but still they're still vacant.
The other estates of this period that are listed include the houses by Neve Brown, and what I like about Hollenby's is that he's taking a lot of those ideas, but he's doing it in a really, really modest vocabulary of concrete lintels and brick, and I think it helps the buildings to integrate with the housing around them. It's just doing good architecture with modest means in a really skillful way. I think the thing that's most unusual about this estate is its absolutely fabulous setting, and it really does make the most of being at the top of the hill and looking down across the park. I think that's probably why it's threatened, that it's a very obvious site for a developer to think they could do an attractive and very sellable new housing scheme. But I think it'd be an enormous pity to lose the Cressingham Gardens as it stands. I think it's a great bit of architecture.
What I'd lose is, apart from home, apart from where I am, is the community. And you can never replace a community. I don't know, it'd be strange to me. It'd be like me moving to Wiltshire or Scotland somewhere and having to start all over again. And I don't want that. 35 years of building up this relationship, especially with some of the neighbours here, which have been here equally as long. You can't win that back. Repairs, not regen.
We very much hope that its architectural interest will be recognised and that it will be restored. I think it works really well as example of high density, low rise housing, and it's just very beautifully designed.